So today's video, I'm going to be going through a little bit more around how manifesting through ESP works and how you yourself would be doing this on quite a regular basis, but perhaps you aren't aware of it yet. So I'm going to give some examples because I'm pretty sure a lot of you would be experiencing this at some stage, maybe not on a daily basis, but you have experienced this. And once you start to have awareness that you are in fact using ESP and tuning into this, you will then start to rely on that more and more, and then start to trust yourself more and more with the information you've received. So whether you know it or not, we on a daily basis are constantly scanning our environment. Our bodies and our senses are constantly scanning the environment to pick up on any potential threats and to let us know if we are safe or not. So a lot of the time, this is actually occurring on an unconscious level. We aren't necessarily aware that we are doing this until we become aware that we are doing it. It then becomes conscious. So a good example of this would be, how many times have you walked into a room when someone is mid-argument? You haven't heard them yelling or screaming or raising their voice, but you walk into a room and suddenly there's a shift in the air temperature, in the feeling, and you realize, oh, this doesn't feel good. They must be mid-argument, right? We've all done that. And so what happens is you are walking into the room. Again, the body's constantly scanning for things without you even knowing. It senses that something's not right. So it draws the experience into your field, and you then interpret that on that unconscious level. It then gets interpreted into the conscious mind for you to then go, oh, something's not right. Okay, I feel like I've walked into an argument mid-argument. You then choose to leave the room and walk out. But what you've got to really start paying attention to is that feeling when you walk into a situation and into an experience, and start to really trust your body first and foremost, because the body is receiving the information through the senses, through the wave, right? That experience is then pulled into your energy field and you become a part of that. That's why you sense it first. Your logical mind then takes over and wants to fit things into categories of, oh, this is a fight, this is an argument, this is this, we've experienced this before. It wants to box things into an experience it's already had. So the body senses it, it comes through into the unconscious, then the unconscious comes into the conscious to make sense of it and label it, right? This is how ESP works. Another example would be, how many times have you thought of someone, just randomly thought of someone, and then that same day they have called you, or you have run into them at the shops or something like that, just randomly run into them, randomly heard from them out of nowhere. So again, what this is it's not you thinking of that person and going, oh, I hope Sue calls me today. And then she calls you and you go, oh, hey Sue, like I wanted you to call, I was willing you to call. That's not what happens. You could be going about your daily life. You could be folding washing, you could be at work, you could be going for a swim. And it's almost like an image pops into your mind of Susan herself, or Susan's going to call me. It's this feeling, it's this knowing. It's not something you're wanting to necessarily happen. It just comes into your field, into your awareness. You then relay that, okay, I was thinking of Sue, that's weird, but that's random. I'm just going to go on about my normal day again. Then to have her call you or to run into her, it sparks that memory of, I just thought of you before. That's so weird. That happens all the time, right? So this is ESP. It's coming into your field. You are tuning into the same frequency. We are all connected. And it's this random person that it's almost letting you know that this person's going to be coming into your field. This person's going to be reaching out and contacting you. So you have this wisdom and this knowing that something's going to happen before it does. But we often don't pay attention, or we don't pay enough attention to those subtle messages we get beforehand. We just have that, oh, that's weird, I thought of her and then she called. Anyway, off we go on our day. That is ESP. As a psychic, I can see into your field and I can see into your past experiences and I can see into your future experiences, because that is connected. When I set the intention and I tune into a field and I merge my field, that information comes to me. And so even though you might be saying, okay, yes, I get those phone calls, Vanessa, and that's random that happens, how do I then go from the random parts to then kind of really understanding energy? And that takes time. That takes time, practice, but number one, awareness. You have to have awareness of the subtle hints and the subtle energy your body is experiencing on a daily basis. The more awareness you have around that, the more you'll start to sense in and feel things and know things before they happen. And that's where the manifesting part comes in, because it comes in like intuition. I can also connect to spirit because I'm connecting to the consciousness of that soul. I'm connecting to the consciousness which is everywhere and eternal. And this is the same thing. You are tapping into a consciousness from either next to you or from across the other side of the world. It doesn't matter. Same thing goes when I'm doing remote viewing. I can be given coordinates of a target. They may say 76314, and that's the coordinates I'm given. I then have to tune into those coordinates when I'm in that calm state, and I have to allow my senses to align me to that target. I merge my field with the coordinates to merge with the target. When I've merged myself with the target, it is then up to me to relay through my senses what I am seeing, hearing, feeling, smelling, whatever that is. I have to sense it first and then allow myself to write down all the senses I'm picking up on in that environment. Then it's all of my senses that I've listed that then allows me to come to an outcome of what the target was. So I'm not sitting there going, oh, I think it might be this. I'm not using my logical third dimensional thinking brain. I'm allowing my ESP to bring the information to me through my senses. And then I'm relaying that to reveal the target. So you guys would be experiencing ESP on a very regular basis yourself. And the more you tune into that, the more you can fine tune it and really start to understand how to manifest and how to work with the quantum field and its experiences.